Now, hey everybody, my name is Neil Lemons. I'm on the board of Social Media Dallas, formerly the Social Media Club of Dallas. And we are a nonprofit association that aims to educate people on the use of social media in PR, advertising, marketing, even customer service. Today I have Giovanni Gallucci. He is a very well-known sort of mainstay, not only in the Dallas social media marketing community, but really internationally and nationally. He's known for lots of different things. Really a resume too long for me to even go through, but I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about his history with social, his history with marketing and web in general. And we'll get into some more nitty-gritty in a little while about maybe his Topo Chico campaign without giving it all away, because he will be speaking on September 17th at Social Media Dallas. We're going to be having a social media showcase, just showcasing some case studies for social media and what people have done on specific campaigns. But let me go ahead and introduce Gio. Actually, before I let Gio talk, I'll just tell a little story. So I've known Giovanni probably since 2008, 2009. I was a lowly internet marketing specialist at Level 10 Interactive, it used to be Level 10 Design back then. And Giovanni used to come up, and I guess he just enjoyed hanging out with people on the edge of doing things. He was still had his own business, still consulting at the time, and we were kind of on the verge of making social a commoditizable type, offering as a marketing thing. Whereas internet marketing has been around for a lot longer than social media per se. Mm-hmm. Search engine optimization, search engine marketing, Google AdWords, all those types of things, web development has been around for a lot longer than that. But Gio's really carved himself out as being an excellent, I know at one time, I don't know if he still is, he was #1 on Google for social media expert. It's probably a little more cutthroat now. There's probably a lot more of that going on. But with that said, I'm going to let Gio tell a bit about his background, and then we can talk a little bit about what's coming up. We can talk about social in general, the future of social, and then we'll talk about Topo Chico. So take it away, Gio.
I will say, Neil, on my end, it sounds like either you've got someone doing the dishes or moving stuff around in the background.
We're hearing the dishes back there.
and I would say nothing except that it seems to be picking up the different tone a lot.
It's very high and low. Yeah, it's probably mid tone going on here.
So it's funny because I try to forget about how long ago you and I met, because good gravy, it's been a long time. So to be brief, because I would assume that especially for folks in Dallas, if they've seen me speak in the past, this would be a repetitive information. But basically, I came into the industry from a programming background and was hired by a marketing firm, not having any idea what search engine optimization was, and worked with that firm for a while and ended up being the COO there. And then took off and started my own firm with 4 other people. We were all kind of equal partners in that firm, and ran that for a couple of years, and then put my shingle back out and went back into the social media world. And that very short explanation probably covers about 10 years of my career. And to be quite honest, about 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I just completely got burnt out. I was speaking all the time. I was probably speaking 4 or 5 times a month, traveling in order to do that stuff. And I reached a point in my career where I got burnt out from the standpoint that you're just hawking stuff on the internet because your clients are paying you to hawk stuff, right? But it was nothing that I was passionate about, from the standpoint of what I was marketing on the internet. It's insurance and bathroom fixtures and, whatever, dental, shops and things like that. And so I'm out there doing the work. The work's interesting, but beyond that, I wasn't passionate or challenged by anything I was doing. So I put on the brakes. My wife pretty much, when I had a discussion with my wife, she said, well, if you're as good as you say you are, maybe you can convince everybody on the internet that you do something else. So I took that as permission to go and kind of reinvent myself as a photographer and a media specialist, which I've been doing photography my entire life. I just never did it for a living. So for about the last 4 or 5 years, I've really focused heavily on being a digital content producer. Now, I'm still in social media. I've been in social media all along. And here's a dirty little secret for folks that are in the industry. If you want to hop from, say, social media marketing or into something else, in the media world, most of the things that people do don't pay very well at all. And so I learned very quickly to maintain my title as a social media person. I would use that to kind of weasel my way into jobs that I had no business having. And then and basically have them pay me at the social media rate, but do the stuff I love to do. So for 5 years, I've been a cinematographer on a documentary TV show about Texas music. I've worked with Topo Chico now for 3 years as their social media digital marketing person, but half of what I do is content production for them. So it's nice to have this background so that I can work and do the things that I love to do now for brands and for projects that I love doing, but still get paid for executing social media and strategy and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at today. I had lunch with a friend about a week ago because I was rolling off one project and I was kind of talking to him about what I was doing. And he flat out told me, he said, if people ask, if you ask people in Dallas what you do for a living, everyone assumes you just completely walked away from social media and they think that you basically do music photography now, which is, a win and a loss for me because me getting out there and really doing the photography and video, now that's what I'm known for, as opposed to being a guy who does social media and search and stuff like that. So it's interesting that you're able to reinvent yourself that way on the internet. So that's kind of the current state of affairs for me right now.
That's great. Yeah, it is a very interesting psychological thing where it's hard on like a high perception level for people to think that someone could be good at more than one thing. They're like, oh, well, that's my social guy, or that's my programmer, or that's my, whatever. And whereas at the end of the day, to have a real true marketing campaign, it takes all those things. And instead of having to pay someone as a photographer or pay someone to create content or write, if you can do all those things, then you're got a bigger shop than the other guy who has to pay for all those things from different vendors. So
yeah, and it's interesting because that really kind of puts me into a niche in different businesses and like production teams and stuff, because, certainly there are projects that I couldn't take on because people need a dedicated photographer. They need a dedicated video person or an editor. But, I'm able to walk into projects and essentially from web development, mobile app development, social media and SEO, from photography, video, and soup to nuts, doing everything from beginning to end. If I'm working with a medium-sized company, I can do everything, fill the roles of 5 or 6 people, but they don't have to pay full time for all that. So, there's pluses and minuses on that, because there have been projects I had to leave, walk away from, because I knew it would be way too much for me to handle everything that was going on. Yeah,
that's tough to do, but I understand exactly what you mean by that.
And I can't work with a team, so I have to work by myself.
It's good. We finally know ourselves when we're in our early 40s or whatever. But
in my early 20s, I know. Yes.
Sure. So without sort of letting the cat out of the bag completely, can you tell us a little bit more about the case study that you submitted for the Social Media Showcase, which is coming up September 17th?
Yeah. And actually it's good to do this here because, I've always been really terrible about going over time. And, the Social Media Showcase here is such a tight format. You guys even send us the slide deck and said, here's the number of slides you have. Here's what needs to be on the slide. So, there's so much I could talk about this thing without giving the cat out of the bag, or letting the cat out of the bag. But essentially what this is so Topo Chico mineral water, which is this, everyone watching, let that brand sink into your brain. It's a company that's 120 years old, so it's not new by any stretch of the imagination. They started in Monterrey, Mexico. The water is sourced out of a mountain that is just outside the city of Monterrey. And they started in 1895 and sold the product just in northern Mexico for, I guess, until about the 1980s. And then they branched out to the entire country of Mexico. Towards the end of the 1980s, early 1990s, they then pushed the product up into only Spanish-speaking areas of the United States. So think South Texas, think basically San Antonio, Houston, South, Southern California, and then Chicago. And that's basically where they kind of planted their flag in the United States. But all the marketing at that point was only Spanish language marketing, culturally heavily Hispanic. You're thinking about a product that is in Fiesta March, small neighborhood mercados, things like that. And 2 years ago in 2013-ish, it was mid-2013 when I first, or early 2013, they decided to move into the Anglo or in the English-speaking market in the United States. So that's where I come in. They found me through the TV show that I was on. They saw my name in the credits, and they had an idea. And this is one thing that's really nice about Topo Chico as a client. They are, while they weren't socially savvy, they weren't terribly digital savvy. They were very definite and specific about what they wanted to do. And we have a unique situation also because the product itself is bottled and sourced in Mexico. It is shipped up to a distribution point in El Paso, and then we lose complete sight of the product. We don't know where it goes. We know how many units we sell to the distributors, but we have no idea if 50% of that's going to California, if 10% is going to Illinois. We just don't know. So a lot of what we're doing here is pure branding. We are trying to get people to understand what the product is. There's no real sales outside of that delivery point in El Paso that we can say we sponsored Coachella and sales increased over in Southern California. We just can't see that at all. So the measurement that we have is pretty much at this point, I would say 75% social. There's a little bit of measurement on the corporate website that we have, the English version of the website. And then we look at sales from what the raw sales or the gross sales are into the distribution point in El Paso. So when I came to them, and this is something I absolutely love because it really gives you some insight into possibly some of the psychological challenges they face in the U.S. We do the niceties. I'd never met these people in the world. Everyone in the office are native Mexican nationals, and so very thick accents, and they're kind of learning the culture as they come along and enter the market. And I sit down, and Jose Carrillo, the North American marketing manager, usually when I get into these meetings, I kind of sit down and I ask the client, what can I do for you? Because, I'm there to listen to them. And he goes, Giovanni, I need you to convince white people that not only is it okay, but it is fashionable to drink the water from Mexico. And so, A, he's got a good sense of humor. B, that tells me that he is going well beyond just I want to quench people's thirst. He is moving directly into I want to create a lifestyle brand. And that is super hard, but it also gives you a lot of room to breathe as a marketer, because now you've got so much more, that you can do with that. The other thing that's nice is that we have a good budget for sponsorships to put us in the places we want to be put. Mm-hmm. Challenges for the campaign were the entire staff for the last 3 years has been me, David, who replaced Jose after a year, and we have one woman in their office that helps me with events and helps him kind of as an assistant. So essentially everything that's happened online, and actually everything that's happened online for the last 3 years has been me by myself with approval and direction from Topo Chico. The other two things that were fun but a huge challenge also is they have a philosophy for the Anglo market that they don't want to do any conspicuous hit you over the head marketing or advertising at all. So they do not want signage somewhere that says buy a Topo Chico, it's on sale. None of that, because they're aspiring for something bigger. The other thing is they wanted to create demand out of I don't want to say a false sense of scarcity, but they want to create demand by making it difficult for the consumer to find and get the product. They want to put the product in front of the consumer, but have it just out of their reach to make them work to find it. So how do we go about that?
That's brilliant.
It terrified me when I heard that. So,
I mean, think about like Apple and when Google comes out with products, they make it seem like there's only a limited supply. It's one of the laws of influence. It's scarcity, exclusivity. Mm-hmm. It's one of the laws of influence.
And the thing that for Apple and Google, they've got a huge enough brand that they can do that, and they're already established. We were trying to get people to find the name Topo Chico and want it really badly at the same time. So it was a challenge. So essentially what we went after is I built them a new website, and we got some of the kind of plumbing taken care of the first 6 months or so of the project. And then when it came to marketing, a couple of other things that were nice and interesting that was completely their idea, and it's brilliant now that I see it. Number one, absolutely they were interested in social, but they were aware of our lack of kind of manpower to do this. So a couple of prerequisites were we're going to focus on one social media platform at a time within one single industry, because they didn't want me to be spreading myself so thin that I couldn't do anything well, which again was a gift to me. I mean, everything they brought to me as a client and laid out to me was like, you get it. Even though they were new to social media, they got those parts of kind of marketing. So I would have suggested right off the bat, to be honest, that we hit up Twitter first in that campaign. But politically, internally, because Facebook is social media, that's what was decided to go with first. And we set ourselves a few goals. Now, they were, through our strategy and discussions, we decided that we were much more concerned about engagement than we were about raw numbers. But in order to get that engagement, you have to get to a baseline first so that you've got enough of an audience to generate that engagement, right? So we kind of picked a number out of the air and said, okay, we any network we focus on, our goal is to get to 10,000 users. And once we get to that point, then we should be able to then generate enough activity that content should kind of grow on its own. Now, a lot of that was gut, but also a lot of that was us pulling a number out of the air, right? So, but that was the goal. So Facebook first. We start hammering Facebook as hard as we can. We go and lock in all of the branding for all the different networks we'll eventually jump onto. But we literally pretty much ignored everything but Facebook. We gave ourselves 10 months to get to 10,000 people. We got there in about 8 months, which was really nice. But one thing that happened during that process is because of the Facebook algorithm, we weren't getting a ton of interactions. And I knew that was going to happen, but you've got to serve a bunch of different masters when you run campaigns for clients. And for them, at that point in time, 10,000 people on Facebook to an American market was them knowing to themselves that they had arrived. So that they didn't care so much about the engagement on that. Once we had achieved that, then we move into Instagram. Then I had kind of shown that I knew what I was doing and was able to deliver for them. They let me pick the next network, which was Instagram. So now we get into kind of the case study for what we're talking about here. And I don't know how much we want to give away and don't want to give away.
Well, let me say something real quick. So everyone, Giovanni Gallucci is going to be speaking September 17th at the Social Media Dallas Showcase. I've actually got the link over here on the right side in the discussion area. If you want to buy a ticket, you'll hear him along with Lauren, or actually Tucker Smith from Standing Dog Interactive, which we're going to ask to join in just 1 minute, either him or Lauren from Standing Dog Interactive. But Gio, if you could go ahead and tell a little bit more, and then go ahead and we've only got a little limited amount of time. I'm actually on my lunch break. But go ahead and tell a little bit more, do a little teaser on your talk coming up on 17th, and then I'm going to let Lauren and Tucker join.
Perfect. Okay, so I will tell you some of the things. I will tell you a couple of the setup things that I probably won't have time to get to This Thursday. Basically, the program that we used to attack Instagram with was a combination of, like I'd mentioned before, being places where people who we wanted to become fans of the product, we wanted to be where they wanted to be. We wanted to be just out of reach of them. So we took a sponsorship approach where we sponsor Austin City Limits Music Festival both weekends. We sponsor the Circuit of the Americas down in Austin so we can get access to all the concerts in there and the motorsports. And then we sponsor Lollapalooza. The unique thing about the sponsorships we have there, though, is that we limited ourselves to only sponsoring VIP areas and green rooms and backstage areas. And the purpose in that was so that the general audience at the festival would see, and there's, I don't know why I use this phrase, but so they could see the beautiful people drinking the product, right? And those are the people on the other side of the fence that they can't get access to. We want the product to end up on the stage during sound checks, which we have plenty of success doing there. We want to go out and put the product on tour buses. So at festivals, we'll go in and fill up the bottom of the tour buses of artists with Topo Chico. So when they leave, they've got that product there to use for free. So that's kind of the setup of what our approach has been to date. And we developed a brand ambassador program where now we're shipping product to recording studios, to artist managers, to artists themselves. And we don't do anything other than ship them product without any expectation, without anything expected out of the artists at all. If the artists end up posting about it, great. If they don't, they don't. We just want to make sure that the artists themselves are carrying the product around the country. Since we don't know where it's at and we know there's a lot of places it's hard to get to, we want to make sure that fans all over the United States are seeing that. And we're kind of using these artists as a virus to get that out there. And it seems to be working pretty well. When we talk on Thursday, I'll go into some specific things that I've done, show some examples of some of the response we've gotten, and then talk about some of the results we've got. But I just want to set that out for Thursday and then show up at the Angelica on Thursday, and I'll show you some of the meat of that and show you what our analytics response has been and how close we are to our goal for Instagram at this point.
Very good. Thank you, Giovanni. So everyone, if you want to plug your social, Gio?
Twitter is Giovanni, and Instagram is Giovanni.Gallucci. You probably can't spell that, so it won't hurt my feelings if you don't follow me.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gio. You can stay on if you like. We're gonna let DeAndre jump on now. Actually, not Tucker. But yeah, thank you. Stay on. DeAndre, if you want to jump on, go ahead, or Lauren, or is away from his. All right, Tucker, can you jump on, Tucker? All right.
Howdy.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going, Tucker?
It is going great. How are y'all doing?
Well, doing well. So this is Tucker Smith from Standing Dog Interactive. They are a local online marketing firm over off near Mockingbird Station, as far as I know. I met Mike Wiley several years ago. He may be in the background sometime, but it's a very good interactive firm. I know they've sort of focused more on hospitality and hotels for several years, and then I know they've probably expanded since then. Mm-hmm. But today, I believe Tucker's going to speak a little bit about a campaign that they had. It was a holiday campaign. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it was actually focused on the North Park Center here in Dallas, right down the street. And what we did was we basically built a Santa persona. So the North Park Santa has been there basically since North Park was founded. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary in August. So he's been around for 50 years. That's about more than twice my age. So he really just has a great understanding of what the Christmas spirit's all about. So what we did was we basically did a full takeover of the North Park social media and built Santa's persona around that. And while Santa does have his own social media profiles, we also use the existing North Park channels to cross-promote the content. So the North Park Santa himself has his own blog. We use that to tie in with the North Park North Park blog, and really what the main focus of this campaign was to draw more attention to the North Park holiday events, like the North Park photos, the Santa photos, and all the fun holiday events that they have going on throughout the holiday season. And what we wanted to do was show that the increase in engagement leading to the increase in attendance to these events.
Very cool. Hey, I'm just tweeting out. I'm saying I'm doing Tell a Little Bird right here on the left side. So I'm just saying holiday social campaign, or excuse me, I meant holiday North Park social media campaign. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. 1 second. North Park social media campaign with what's your Twitter handle, Tucker?
At Tuck Smitty, TuckSmitty.
Got it. All right. I'm posting that. Cool. Cool. Well, Tucker, I know you're put on the spot a little bit because DeAndre and Lauren may have been the ones that were going to speak before.
Oh, no, it's all good. They signed me up to speak, and so they were like, hey, surprise, you're speaking on this. So I was like, okay.
So are you the one presenting on Thursday?
Yes.
Oh, great. Excellent. So Tucker Smith, it's Smith, right? Tucker Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. Tucker Smith is actually going to be speaking this Thursday at our social media showcase, along with several other people, including Giovanni, who you met earlier. And I've got the link over here on the right side in the conversation. You can click on that and buy a ticket for this Thursday. Should be a really, really good show. We also have the State Fair of Texas marketing manager, Jennifer Shooter, will be speaking and talking about how the State Fair of Texas has sort of unleashed their social in the last couple of years and really done a lot more PR. But Tucker, tell us more about Standing Dog Interactive. And then maybe if you can share a little bit more about the campaign that you guys did with North Park and the Santa.
Okay. So, here at Standing Dog, we're digital agency. What we do is we focus in social media, search engine optimization, web design, paid media, and just the whole 9 yards here. We have teams for every department, and we range from hospitality, real estate. We have luxury apartments. Lauren, what else do we have? We have
legal. We have finance.
Legal. We have insurance, financial. So we've really just expanded past, our base clients of hospitality, and we're really just breaking into other industries. I would say we are about 70 people now. We just started a flex time program that allows us to work from anywhere, anytime at all. It was actually featured in the Dallas Morning News a couple weeks back, and it basically just talks about the hot demand for digital marketers and what agencies are doing to really stand out among, a giant pool of digital agencies. Because, you see all these startups coming around like, oh, we're a hot new digital agency. We know everything because we graduated college 8 months ago. And so really what you have to differentiate yourself, and that's what Standing Dog does really well, is they have created a environment that people want to be in. And even though we get to work from wherever we want, I still come to the office every day just because I enjoy being here. I truly enjoy it. Like Lauren's right here. Sometimes I enjoy being around Lauren. Other times he just gives me things to do and I just look at him like, but I really do enjoy being just in the agency, in the office. And we actually have remote workers. We have a lady in Kansas City. We have a girl who started out here in the office, and then she moved to somewhere in Arizona. Was it Phoenix? Phoenix. She moved to Phoenix. She's back in Dallas now, but she's still a remote worker. And then we have a Houston office. And so we've really just kind of expanded what it means to be an agency. We are no longer just in the confines of an office. We are spread out throughout Texas by office, but we're also, spread out around the world by people. There's my two bosses, my senior social media manager and my director of digital strategy are both on their way to a conference in Canada right now, and they're working from the plane. So Standing Dog has really just gone global. And so that's just the neatest thing about it is you tell people, oh, I work at this agency. Oh, so do you have work tomorrow? And it's like, oh, well, kind of. I might wake up at like 6 a.m., get some work done, then go for a run. And then there's like, how do you do that? And you just kind of talk about it, and people, there's agency envy. There's just agency envy because you tell people about it and they just want to be a part of that.
Yeah. You're really selling me on Standing Dog. No, I really like them. I worked for one of their competitors several years ago. I worked at Level 10 Interactive from 2006 to 2009. Back when we were selling online marketing, but social media hadn't necessarily been productized at that point. I mean, it was just starting to, but we were doing a lot of SEO, a lot of SEM, Google AdWords, local market, a lot of blogging content, that kind of stuff. But that sounds like amazing. They've really grown. Standing Dog has. I'm really happy for them. Could you just revert a little bit back to that, telling me a little bit more about that story for North Park? But before you do that, I'm just going to let everyone know who's watching. You can go ahead and click on a link that I shared earlier. Let me see if I still have it here. No, wait a second. I'll copy and paste it while you're talking, Tucker. But September 17th is going to be at the Angelica Social Media Dallas, which is formerly the Social Media Club of Dallas. We're having our showcase, our social media showcase. What we do this once a year, and it highlights some of the best social media marketing campaign case studies that companies have submitted. Very cutthroat for our submission process. We only accept the best of the best. And Standing Dog made it. Tucker Smith is going to be speaking. He's going to be talking about a campaign they did for North Park. You were going to tell us a little bit more about it, but apparently it involved a display of a Santa that's been up for 50 years. So they've movers and shakers making things happen. Go ahead and tell us some more, Tucker.
So yeah, no, it's not a display of Santa. Like it's an actual, like it is Santa Claus. It's been the same Santa for 50 years. I was like, oh yeah, so the same guy playing Santa for 50 years. Like, no, it's Santa. It's Santa. So really, one of the unspoken goals in this campaign is to just make people believe in the magic of Christmas again. You grow up and you just stop believing in the magic of Christmas. But you know what? This campaign was aimed to do? It was going to make people believe in the spirit of Christmas again. So,
I like that. It's a very high-level goal. Make people believe in the spirit of Christmas again. Well, that's good. Because, you can say, well, how can you really quantify people having the spirit of Christmas? I don't know. It kind of
the smiles on everyone's faces as the attendance at North Park holiday events increases.
As long as you can get some images of those kids smiling, those images, might be happy. He's like, look, there's more smiles this year than last year.
Right?
No, that's.
I mean, all of my Santa Claus pictures from when I was a kid, I was like terrified and crying. So.
Oh, that's true. So they don't end up on that awkward family photos Santa edition.
I can neither confirm nor deny that my photo has been on there.
You seem like you might have been a hyperactive kid. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually, to this day, I'm 23 years old. My brother is 30 and my sister is 27. We still take a photo with Santa in our hometown mall every year for my mother.
Really? So you're the youngest of them all. That's cool.
I still have a seat on Santa's lap, awkwardly.
You should recreate the same outfits that you were wearing if you can. I mean, it's hard, but you've seen those photos where they're like, cool. Awesome. Well, I don't have much time left. I've got to get back to work, but everybody, please go to our social media showcase. Check out the Eventbrite link. It was posted a little earlier, and we will see you guys then. Thank you so much for your time, Tucker. And actually, go ahead and
I will see you
plug
Thursday.
your social. Go ahead.
Oh, it's at Tuck Smitty. I'll type it right here. That is my Twitter and my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you get to see pictures of my dogs.
Cool. And in Standing Dogs is just at Standing Dog?
Just at Standing Dog. And then North Park Santa is right here, and that's basically across the board at on every platform. Facebook.com/North Park Santa, Twitter at North Park Santa, Instagram at North Park Santa.
Looks like somebody did pretty well on squatting on the social handles on that. So good. You have to compete with that other weird guy that wants to have his own profile of North Park Santa.
He wants to be the North Park Santa.
There's more than one. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.